On number 15, almost every problem that we've had on this review, your first step is going to be to factor something. So find the trinomial, we need to factor that. We're looking for two numbers that multiply to give us -12 and add up to 4. Now the other denominators should help you in factoring this. It is 6 and -2. So that denominator is going to be x minus 2, x plus 6. Space this out a little bit. Okay, when we have an equation, we want to kill the fractions. So what denominators do you see in this problem? X minus 2 and x plus 6. So we multiply everything by x minus 2, x plus 6. In the first term, x plus 6 cancels, and we are left with 5 times the quantity x minus 2. In the second one, both sets of parentheses cancel, and we're just left with 2. And in the last one, x minus 2 cancels, and we're left with -4 times the quantity x plus 6. What do you suppose is our next step? Distribute. Get all your x's to one side, all your numbers to the other side, solve this equation. I believe you end up getting x equals -16/9. And this one is not multiple choice on the test. So if you have your answer as -16/9, that's fine. If you have your answer as the decimal, whatever that decimal is, I will count that as correct. However you leave your answer is going to be fine. Okay, for number 16, yes, number 16. On this problem, you can treat it the same way we did the previous one. You just don't have to factor first. So multiply everything times 10 times 7. The 10 cancels, so we have 7x squared. The 7 cancels, so we have plus a -80x. 7 cancels, we have -100. Here's how you're supposed to do this problem. You are supposed to get 0 on one side and factor and solve. On the answer key for the test review, I gave you this additional problem. Make sure you know how to factor and solve 3x squared minus 8x plus 4. You should end up with the answers x equals 2 and x equals 2/3. I have that problem completely solved out on the answer key. The reason I put that one on there is that when you get to this step on number 16, it's probably going to look more like the alternate factoring problem I gave you. It'll be an easier problem to factor. Now, what if you get to this step and you still don't remember how to factor? This one is multiple choice. So if you look at your multiple choice options, you could try plugging in -10 and see if you get 0. You won't, so you know A and B can't be correct. Then you could try 7. You could try -7. You could try 10. Once you plug in 10 for part E, you'll plug in 10 and it will work. So you know that E is your correct answer. So if you absolutely don't remember how to factor, use the multiple choice answers to help you, but at least get to this point and then plug stuff in. For 17, 18, and 19, I'm going to go to the actual review so you can see what it says. S is directly proportional to the 6th power of t. Directly means multiply. It means k times. So S equals k times t to the 6th. W varies jointly. Jointly is kind of the same as directly. It just means you're going to be multiplying with multiple things. So W varies jointly, so k times the square root of x and the 5th power of y. Inversely means divide, so divide that whole thing by the cube of v. If you know that directly means multiply, jointly means multiplication with a couple of things, and inversely means divide, you should be fine. You should be able to translate these just fine. This last problem, f varies jointly, that means you're multiplying by several things, as x and y. Then they tell you that f is 500 when x is 15 and y is 8. 15 times 8 is 120. You end up with the decimal 4.167. If you know how to change that back into a fraction, change that back into a fraction. You'll get the fraction 25 over 6. If you don't know how to turn it back into a fraction, you can either come up and ask me and use your hint, or look at your answer choices and see that where the fraction is, plug that into your calculator, see if it's 4.167. Ultimately, you need to go back here and write out the formula f equals 25/6 times xy. Or it could be written like this, 25xy over 6. Both of those are correct ways to write that equation.